Hi everybody, I'm Kevin Ferguson, I'm the Money Man. I've got the Money Boy sitting right next to me. Nice cap.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I've got Shakes Rampedi up in Johannesburg. Shakes, how are you, man?
Hey, good. And how are you guys doing?
Yeah,
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Living the dream. That's good.
Have you guys enjoyed the Euros?
yeah, I must say I've actually have been enjoying them. We chatted, I think last week, and you said you didn't really didn't feel
You didn't
that
feel
real.
it?
Yeah, didn't really feel it. But I don't know. I've been enjoying a couple of the games a lot. Enjoying watching it be different, a little bit different to what we expected. Like the France. I mean, still performing but not quite kicking on as you would have expected. Portugal looking sort of shaken, like kind of for most of the group stage.
Shaken but not stirred.
Shaken but not stirred. Yeah, but that French Portugal game was really enjoyable to watch the other day. Just watching a little interaction between Ronaldo and Benzema as well after Benzema scored that penalty. It was just a nice sort of clash of the titans kind of thing. And then for me as a German supporter to also just watch Germany put Portugal away early in the week last week was great. So
4-2. Impressive stuff, eh? Especially after falling behind. And Shakes, your impressions?
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed the Euros. I don't know about everybody else. Like I really have. I think there've been really great goals. That's one thing to start. There's been some really good, decent goals. When you think of Patrick Schick's goal, when you think of Modric's goal the other day, Darmsgaard from Denmark. There's just been a lot of goals that have happened and very good goals, and also having to see new players that you probably don't see much of purely because maybe you're watching the Premier League or you're watching La Liga, but you start to see uncut gems and still raw players that are still coming to their peak. So that's one thing I've loved about the Euros. I've learned a lot more about certain players and also France as well. I'm starting to learn a lot more about them too as well. I don't think they're as good as I thought they were. I thought they were really going to be good, but I haven't been really impressed with how they've dealt with the group stages.
Yeah, but they were in the group of death, so let's be fair to them in some ways. They haven't gelled yet, and that's not a bad thing because no one wants to gel in the group stages. You want to gel going forward now in the tournament. I know. You're so anti-France, it's scary. But I want to remind people of the bets that I want to remind people of the bets that I made. I put money on Italy as my dark horse, France and Belgium, and then for the top goal scorers, I put 1,000 at 12-1, which I thought was a great odds for Ronaldo. Yeah. Now I'm not going to jinx it and touch wood. He's leading by 2 goals. Hopefully he gets a couple goals or 1 goal, and it'll be tough to get 6 goals from anybody else there in the tournament. Yeah. So that's looking good, and Lukaku. So hopefully it's a goal fest against Portugal, Belgium. We'll get into that now. We'll look at the 4 games. So I'm looking good. I'm enjoying it. My bets are all in with a good shout.
Yeah, no, you've continued that trend.
I have. And on my MoneyMan, the fund, it's performing at 37%. I'm on fire, really.
How do I buy into that?
No, you can't. It's closed. It's VIP only. So let's get into it. We got Wales versus Denmark.
So this is going to be a bet with the heart to the head.
And a disclaimer, I am Welsh.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Are you Welsh?
Funny guy. No, 4.91 to 1 Wales. And I don't know where they get these odds from. I mean, you got a Denmark team that's missing its best player, in my opinion. A Denmark team that, they beat Russia, but Russia are shit. Let's...
Okay, yeah, look, I mean, look, definitely, if you would say, I wouldn't say Russia are as bad as what you make them out to be, but I think it was the performance and the way that they beat Russia as well, because it seems like there's a sense of unity with Denmark now, and I think they're starting to kick into gear and they're starting to play without their best player now. Now they're starting to get into that rhythm.
Well, they've gone to a back 5, haven't they? Which has made a difference to them.
Yeah, no, they've gone back to a back five, which has made a difference. But even if people remember, even though they lost to Belgium, they performed really well the first 45 minutes. I think they could have been 2-3-0 up against Belgium, and unfortunately, they put only one away. And against Belgium with like Kevin De Bruyne and Lukaku and Hazard, you can't just be leading 1-0 and they'll bit back. So they scored five, I think, against Russia, and I think also Wales as well. I think when you look at Denmark's team, they've just got more threat than what you would say Wales team has. If you're able to nullify Ramsey and as well as Gareth Bale and maybe to a certain extent the winger for Wales plays for Manchester United as well. If you're able to utilize those three, then you should be fine against Wales.
Anytime I get a playoff game at 4.91, you got to take a bit of a punt on Wales, because Wales don't they don't concede a lot of goals. And I don't see many goals being scored in this game. But what Wales do well is they counter very well. And they've got some talent to counter in Bale and Ramsey. And if Denmark play the same sort of game, which I imagine they will, that they played in the tournament so far, I can see Wales sneaking this game 1-0.
I like what you're saying about like anytime you can get odds like that on a playoff game, because playoffs are a different story, you know.
Yeah.
I think it was Eben Etzebeth said it with regards to the top 14 rugby. Toulon had to sort of win 2 more games to scrape through in the top 6, and he said, but once we get to the top 6, it's a different story because it's playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you often see these odds where guys lose out. There's like 1.4 odds on favourites in playoffs, and then somehow those favourites lose 1-0 or to draw over 90 minutes. So, yeah, I'm in agreement with you. If you're going to take a punt on that game, it's not worth punting on Denmark, I don't think.
Not at those odds. I mean, I think that the value bet for me is probably about 1.88 on under 3 goals. I mean, Wales don't score a lot and they don't concede a lot.
Yeah.
So
I have a better bet for you guys on this game. Obviously Wales for 4.91 is really good, but it is still a little bit of a risk. But I think the one that is not as much of a risk, I think that both teams to score looks good, guys. 2.26. I think that can definitely happen, and I think those odds look great for that game for sure.
Yeah, it's just with Wales, you see a lot of games 1-0, 2-0. I like. Look, it's my betting philosophy. Whenever you can get those odds of 4.91, I've got to take it. Not for a lot of money, but my big bet on that game will be under 2.5 goals. Let's see what it is. My only bet on the Wales game is going to be Wales to win outright at 4.91, just for 250 rand. A small bet. I'll certainly, as a Welshman, be cheering it, wearing my Welsh jersey in some lonely pub.
Why don't you just not wear a shirt because you've got the dragon?
That's true, eh? The women go crazy for me.
Especially in the cold.
Yeah, my nipples will be full out. You'll be able to hang some clothes, put clothes over my nipples. So, Shakes, come on now. You've seen my nipples. Don't be pretending you haven't.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Definitely, they look great. They look really great.
Thanks, and I'll post a picture of that on my Facebook page or not. So, what's your bet? Are you going both teams score? Ollie, what are you thinking?
I'm going to put a little tickle down on Wales.
A little tickle?
You've convinced me.
Just a little tickle. Not a bad bet at all, and good odds there. Next up, we have my dark horse selection, Italy. Not so much dark anymore. Versus Austria.
Yeah, that this one is. I think Austria is a better team than what people actually think it out to be. But it must also be said that I don't think they stand a chance against Italy. I don't think they have enough threat against Italy, that's for sure. And Italy as well, they haven't conceded a single goal at this tournament as well. And you would probably, out of all the teams you've probably watched at the Euros, they look like everything seems to be functioning just right. They're defending well, they're scoring goals, they're dominating midfield as well. They have a very good goalkeeper. Everything seems to be rolling on great. And I think it's I'd even say -1 handicap to Italy to win this one.
Yeah, Shakes, that's not a bad shout. Even maybe looking at the odds of what a win to nil would be for Italy, considering that Austria have scored only 4 goals across their 3 games, and like you said, Italy yet to concede, you know? And I think that's now, 30 games on the trot unbeaten for Italy.
Well, you know what it is 11 games in a row winning.
Yeah.
And 11 games without conceding a goal. So if you're a negative guy, and probably Italians can be quite negative, they're probably saying we're due to concede a goal at some stage. But their record is impressive. They look very tight, compact. And, you know, Wales, Switzerland, and Turkey, not exactly the group of death.
I mean, Turkey was supposedly a couple of people's dark horse, and
What?
they crashed and bombed. And
I heard someone on ESPN talking about Turkey as a legitimate contender.
Yeah.
I hope that guy is unemployed, because he doesn't know fuck all about soccer. Let's be honest. You know, so you know, it's how much do you read into?
yeah,
Look, Austria's not really. I don't know. Ukraine 2-0. They lost.
They're not bad. I mean, look, Austria's not like, they're not bad, but at the same point is, if you're putting them up against Italy, that is still a tough game for them. Especially the Italy that I saw at this tournament. I think Italy win this one comfortably. And I think maybe if we're looking at a valued bet, which I just had us look now, is anytime goal scorer for me. I definitely will go Ciro Immobile. Anytime goal scorer, I think that's a very good bet. He's rated at 2.46 to score. He already has 2 goals at this tournament, and I think I think Italy will be too much for Austria. So I'm gonna go with that as a valued bet. Anytime goal scorer, Ciro Immobile.
Not bad bet. And you know, Italy has the pedigree as well. You know, it's playing in these group stages, and once they get a 1-goal lead, they're almost impossible to beat. So I like the 2.37 with the one handicap for -1 handicap for Italy. So I don't see this being a close game. Italy are just too much class, and Italy definitely go on to the final 8. And I'm going to take Italy -1 for the win at 2.37.
Oliver?
Ollie.
I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about betting on this game, to be honest. I think I'm gonna sit this one out. If I had to take one, I think -1 makes the most sense from a betting perspective, because even if Austria do score, Italy, like you said, still have the potential to score a couple more goals, and cover that -1 handicap. But yeah, I'm just gonna trust my gut here. Seems like one of those games that you like include in a multi, and then, you know, for some reason it ends up being different to how you thought. So I'm gonna kindly sit this one out.
Okay.